Hello everyone, this is Zeppelin, and today I'm going to show you how to knock out an Earth Golem on Ark Survival Evolved Scorched Earth DLC. I am currently building a cage, which is what most of the people have recommended to do before trying to knock out the Earth Golem. I'll tell you right now, it's not knocked out in a normal way. You have to knock it out using blunt trauma to its head. So you're advised to use rockets, and that's what I'm using today, as you saw. After I built the cage, I then aggroed the golem down off the mountain. And I'll tell you right now, it doesn't go exactly the way I thought it would. But right now I'm feeling pretty confident because I got it into my cage. But the fact of the matter is, it's not going to play out the way I want it to. So I go to knock it out, check my surroundings. You should always do that before firing rockets at a giant creature that wants to crush your bones. So I walk up to it, I get its attention. Like I said, I do not recommend using this method. I only did it because I was told to do it by other streamers. Do not do this. It is very ineffective, as when you shoot the rocket, you will blow up your cage. And as you'll see here in a few seconds, why this is an unsustainable option. The objective is to hit it in the head, because then it'll be traumatized, and you'll see it shake its head because you do a lot of torpor damage to it and make it dizzy. But you do less damage when you hit it in the head, therefore you have a less chance of accidentally killing it. I just landed a lethal blow, and as you can see, I just freed the beast, and I almost got my spine crushed. I fall back and I regroup. And I'll tell you right now, this is my first successful attempt, so I'm not as calm as I usually am when I'm taking something down. I tried this twice before using the cage technique, and it doesn't work, and so I tried something new, and it actually worked out pretty nicely. And I'll tell you right now, I recommend everyone do this. This is exactly how you should tame the Earth Golem. Alright, you see how I keep hitting it? You don't want to hit it in those spots. You want to hit it in the head, because as you can see, I'm doing a lot of damage to it, and I'll end up killing it before it falls unconscious. So I need to land headshots, which I'm failing to do at first, until I realize there is a pattern that you should be following. The golem throws a boulder approximately every 2 times you could shoot a rocket at it. You have the option to fire once and wait for the golem to throw its projectile and dodge it, or you can try to get in 2. I mean, every now and again I just try to get in 2, because honestly I think it's totally logical. And I don't know, don't ask me where that rocket went. It just vanished into thin air when I went to fire it. I don't know what was up with that. Yeah, don't mind this. I just didn't realize that my one tribe member had heat seekers in that particular one. As you can see, I'm calmly going into my bird's inventory while having giant rocks and boulders thrown at me. And sorry bird, but you're gonna get hit before I do. So more or less, I have a lot of trouble with this at first, but it starts to come around in the end. Oh, I'll tell you, I was having some trouble with my rocket launchers, and figuring out that you have to, with the new heat seekers, you have to pick to use the heat seekers instead of using regular ones. And in that amount of time, the golem sits back down. But from what I have been able to rake in from my experience is that even though it goes back down into the ground, it does not, I'm fairly certain it does not reset its torpor. You should be okay if it gets calm and decides to sit back down into its rock form. Its torpor should still be up where it was before. I don't believe that has any effect on this. That would be a very big pain in the butt if that was true. So as you can see, I start to pick up my stride and I start getting in the groove and landing all of my headshots, which is good because when I finally knock this big guy out, I see how close I was to actually killing him because of all of my bad shots from the beginning. But I am currently, while recording this, I'm actually taming a level 108 Earth Golem, so I can tell you right now, this works. If you can get your movements down and not fire when it's trying to throw a boulder at you, you'll be fine. You want to throw in between the boulder throws. Like I said, you can fire twice. I recommend firing once, then twice, then once, then twice, just to keep your rhythm up. And also, I believe that it also gives the golem more time to become dizzy, and therefore you do less damage. Because I'll tell you right now, from what I've seen in this golem and the second one that I am now taming, the more damage I believe you do to it, the less taming effectiveness it has. Meaning, as soon as you go over to tame it, you'll realize that it's down to already 76% taming effectiveness due to all the damage you had to do to it. But I believe if you land every single headshot, it will not affect its taming effectiveness. That is, none of this is verifiable yet, but that's just my hypothesis. So as you can see, I'm landing some really good hits. I'm getting low on regular rockets, so I start to get nervous. I actually go right down to the wire and I get really lucky. I think I drop it on my last 2 rockets. And as you can see, I'm landing all my headshots now. Again, be careful if you're dealing with a high level like this 108 that I'm currently taming. I got hit by 1 boulder and all my armor was gone. So just be careful when you're taming it. And I'll tell you right now, you should try, if you're on a normal server, like less than a super effective taming server, I'll tell you right now, you, instead of feeding the golem sulfur, which is like its prime meat, but not really in my opinion, you should try to get a hold of some mantis kibble, because that's its kibble. And I'll tell you right now, when I knocked out this 108, it was at 76 taming effectiveness. It's already down to 56, so sulfur isn't even that effective. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I don't really care. It's a 108. It'll turn out fine. But anyway, back to the task at hand. As you can see, I thought I knocked it out, but it actually got bored of me and decided to lay down and mock me. Very upsetting. I'm gonna knock it out here in a second. I know, I forget which one, but as you can see, every time I hit it, it like shakes its head and it looks dizzy. The easiest way to dodge the boulders, as you can see, is I stand on one side and then I move to the other. Like as soon as I know it's going to throw it. As you can see, I just took it down. It lost consciousness. I'm going to show you its stats. Its stats do get reduced, just like the Giganosaurus or Giganosaurus, whatever you guys call it. Its stats do get reduced when it is tamed, but it's still a great ride. It's not OP like everyone thinks it is. This one only had 5,000 health after it finished taming, so it loses 75. I'm thinking that means it loses 75% of its stats when it tames, approximately, because it also gains some levels after it tamed. I'll tell you right now, as you can see, I'm putting sulfur on it. Like I said, depending on the taming effectiveness of your server, understand it well. You shouldn't need narcotics on any server that has increased taming speed, you should just be able to put the sulfur on, and you could probably leave it alone. I mean, it's not like it has any predators. So there you have it. That was my first, as you can see, it was my first golem, and I've already perfected it. I already knocked out a 108, which I'm taming right now, and I thought I'd make this for you guys. So good luck knocking out those earth elementals. Oh, and before I forget, I recommend that you put down sleeping bags when you go to tame these elementals, because they're only found in certain places. And I'll tell you right now, things happen. You can get killed. It happened while I was taming the 108. I went to shoot it, and I clipped the rock in front of me, and I blew myself up, and I had to fly the whole way back. Luckily the torpor was still up, and I was able to knock it down. I don't know how far down the torpor must have went, but if I had had sleeping bags down in advance, I wouldn't have had to worry about that. So make sure you put sleeping bags down before you go to tame it. That way you can just respawn, run out there, grab your bird, and all will be well. Last thing, make sure you bring plenty of rockets. It's better to have too many than too little, because then you can't finish taming your rock elemental.